Hi peeps, it's Tersse back in the old squat box once again. I haven't been on for quite a while, in person. I've been there doing videos, computer videos, but still, even then I've not been on for a long time. So I'm here just to cover a couple of things. For instance, the idea that a possible reality could then become, a probable reality. I reject that notion out of hand. The possible reality infringing upon the probable reality would have to prove itself to become probable, or would have to have someone prove it, and therefore it wouldn't therefore be a probable reality. It would therefore be it would therefore be not just a possible reality, but a true reality. So all these ideas that people throw at you, philosophically about, what if this, then made that, there needs to be some kind of cohesive evidence that it's not just possible, but actually happened. That's what science does. Science starts off with the possible, and then it does experimentation and observation to prove that it's an observable fact, not just that it's possible, not just that it's probable, but that it exists. That's the problem we have with these philosophical ideas of, well, what if this? Well, we can what if this all we want. We can what if this? You know what I mean? What if that? You can what if forever. There's still just what ifs. You can't get from what if to this unless you've done some sort of scientific observation, checks and balances, testing, retesting, checking your tests, checking your information, retesting again, letting other people know how you tested it, letting them do the same test, letting them come to the same information, and then collate it together and say, yes, it is fact, it's true. This thing we thought probable is now causational. That's the thing about physics and cosmology. We don't just dream a thing up and say, oh, that's possible, so therefore it's probably true. No, we don't go there unless you're religious. Because when you're religious, anything is possible. Absolutely anything. Levitation, magic, disappearing people, walking through walls, praying away the gay. It's all possible, except it's not possible. It's just not possible. You can't get there from here. Not unless you draw a line between there and here and say, this is the line I walked, and that's how I found myself from there to here. From the possible to the probable to the proven. That's how science works. It goes through those stages. And this, I'm being very, very sort of childlike in my analogies, Anyway. So, got that out of the way. Another subject. Stupidity. I don't think that all people who disagree with me are stupid. Although I might say they're stupid, I really don't believe they're stupid. I just believe they haven't spent any time thinking about what I've just spoken about, and that is having proof for the things they believe. There are many people that I say are stupid, who actually aren't stupid at all. They're pretty reasonable, rational and intelligent people in their own right, in their own field, in their own place. They just have this individual little part of their mind. They've decided not to bother, filtering with the same filter they use in their normal human lives. For instance, you get mathematicians, you get biologists, you get cosmologists, right, who still believe in God. They still believe there's some kind of creator out there that did all this for them to study, for them to spend their lives ruminating over, for some apparent reason they don't have an answer for. But they think that's, some creator did this in order to keep me occupied through my lifetime, But they've got no rational or reasonable explanation for why a creator would do such a thing. None whatsoever. No A to B, no A to C, no A to B to C. Just none. Just the belief. I believe it. We spend our lives as social animals, finding ourselves a space in life, a place where we can relate to other people and expound our knowledge in that area. That's what most of us do anyway. Not all of us, but most of us. We spend some time trying to learn about a thing so that when someone asks us questions about it, we can truthfully tell them, this is what I've come to understand and know about life. Whereas you get a lot of people who spend their whole life learning how to sell bobbins or curtains or houses or bonds, but when you ask them about, real philosophical ideas, the truth behind whether there's a God that directs them in their morals, or there's a God who controls the universe and makes sure that they and their family are, peaceful and happy and protected. Some people would say absolutely, until a disaster happens and one of their families taken from them. Then they fall back on that God acts in mysterious ways. God acts in mysterious ways. God thought that he needed that person from my family at that time in their lives to go with him. And he didn't care about me, but he loves me. But he didn't care about my feelings and my heartbreak, but he loves me. And he loves me so much, I will go up there when I'm dead. And all those other people, all those terrible people that nothing bad's happened to, yeah, they'll go to hell. That doesn't make fucking sense. How the fuck does that make any sense? He would torture you and take your loved ones from you, and wouldn't take the horrible bastard next door who beats his wife every weekend that you hear through the walls, He wins the fucking lottery, you know what I mean? But you lose your daughter in a car accident or a mass fucking shooting in the school, but the fucking wanker next door loses nothing and wins the lottery, you know what I mean? But God's got a devious plan. God's got a devious plan for them, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm fucking sure he has. Makes no sense. But they will justify it in their own minds, because that's what religion does. And even religious people realise that sometime in their lives. That's when people are the fallen. They become the fallen believers. Well, I used to believe, but I just can't believe anymore because too many bad things happened. then something bad happens to them personally, but it doesn't kill them, and suddenly, oh, God saved me. God reached down, touched me and said, it's not your time to go yet. After all the horrible things he's done in your lives, that one saving fucking, hand on your shoulder when you were involved in a shooting or a car crash, or, had a heart attack but survived through the hard efforts of the paramedics and the doctors, that wasn't their work, that was God. God's hand saved me and gave me another 20 years. Thank you very much, you know what I mean? It wasn't the doctors that put a fucking pacemaker in my heart, after my heart attack that saved me. It was God's hand, isn't it? Bull fucking shit. Makes more sense to believe that a life is maybe not quite chaotic. Although some people say that life is chaos, it may not be chaotic. There are some rhymes and reasons to life, but they aren't applicable to the hand of God. And we all know it, even these Christians who say they think it, they're saying it through indoctrination. The belief that I'm scared not to say it in case it happens to be true. And this is what they will say to you as well. What if? What if God does exist? And you've ruined your chances to go to heaven. And I say, well, I've already ruined my chances to go to heaven. Why the fuck should I say yes or believe in God now? Lying and hoping for, God to mistake my lies for, absolution. Fuck that, I couldn't force my brain to believe in him. And that's the way it is with many people. On my deathbed, I couldn't say, oh please, if there's a God, please save me. I couldn't, because I just don't believe it. It would be a waste of breath. I would rather be saying to this, please can I have one last fucking scotch? Please can I have one last fucking big stogie? One last talk on a big giant fucking stogie. Yeah. Oh, brilliant. I'm going through the absolute best redemption ever. Every week I quit smoking, and every other week I start again. Fucking love it. I love the nicotine I have this week, and then I hate it next week. I fucking hate it. I hate myself for fucking smoking. And then I go out and buy another packet of fucking I go out and buy another packet of nicotine queer, right, and stick that off a week and give it up again, and then next week I get fucking pissed on fucking 18-year-old fucking Scotch, you know what I mean? I get fucked up on fucking Scotch and then wait a big fucking story. Is there a possible universe where I gave up smoking? Yes, there possibly is a universe I gave up smoking. Could I make this universe that I'm living, me, could I make that the universe that I give up smoking? I fucking certainly could. But the point is, I love tobacco and I love scotch, so I have weeks when I don't drink and don't smoke, and then I have weeks when I do, and I have the best of both worlds. I have the weeks feeling good that I've quit, and I have the weeks feeling good when I'm fucked up and enjoying a good story. So I live in two universes, and they're not possible universes. They're not even probable universes. They're real universes. They are the universes I live in. I know I live in them because I live in them. I know it's true because it's true. I don't have to hypothesize. I don't have to philosophize. I don't have to juxtapose possible fucking, crazy fucking, questions about what if this or what if that. I just live my fucking life, I know what's true. I know what's real. Because I fucking live it. Can you say the same? Can you say the same? And this is for you as people out there who pray, hope and wish for some miraculous thing to happen in your life. You're hoping for the possible to become the reality. And I've got to say that rarely happens in life. Rarely happens, but sometimes does. But it's not because you wished it. It's not because you prayed for it. It's because that's just the way things turned out. And I wouldn't even say these people who say, oh, life isn't just about possibilities, it's all laid out. That's bullshit. It is about possibilities. They're just the kind of people who say the same shit about probability becoming reality. If I leave the house, I might get knocked down. If I get knocked down, they would say, well, that was predicted, that's what was meant for you. If I didn't get knocked down, they say, well, that's what was meant. So, what is the possibility? When I leave the house, there's all those possibilities. But that's because I live in a world that's full of possibilities. But eventually, something comes true. And what comes true doesn't necessarily mean it was predicted. It's just something that came true from all the possibilities. I know what you're saying. Yeah, but you were saying earlier on, how can somebody say this possibility might become this reality? And how do they get there? And they can't get there, so how does my possibility become true? Well, my possibility becomes true because it actually happens. There is an ABC. I left the house. I crossed the road. I get hit by a car by someone who wasn't paying attention. That's how I get hit by a car. That's how my possibility becomes reality. Because I live in the real fucking world. The possibility that some humongously intelligent thing, God, whatever you want to call it, existed before the creation of time, space and matter, and then injected himself into that time, space and matter to leave his son, who's actually him, to be tortured and then rise up back out of reality into the possibility of you get what I'm saying? Do I sound crazy talking about this? Because this is the way I think Christians sound. They sound fucking crazy talking about this shit. I'm not even going to get into reality. No, sorry. I've been in reality. Morality. I'm not even going to get into the morality of if God says it, then it's moral. Because that's obviously bullshit. Because the Bible is God's word, half of what's written in the Bible we don't think is moral. Even Christians don't think is moral, apart from the really crazy 3% of every nation who are completely batshit. So if your book's wrong half of the time, what makes you think the other half has got any fucking sense to it? Nice, by the way, absolutely. Colombian. I rode in the sweaty thigh of a Colombian virgin, is what I've been told, you know what I mean? Which is why I paid fucking £10 for it, you know what I mean? Oh, doesn't half fucking taste good though. Doesn't half fucking taste good. I suppose it's the sweat from the virgin's thigh that makes it taste so good. That's my belief. You know what I mean? And by the way, because it's rolled in the virgin thigh of a Cuban girl, you know, I can't catch cancer from it either. It makes me impervious to cancer, so as long as I smoke these for the rest of my life, I'm immune to cancer. Well, that's what I want to believe anyway. And if I die of cancer, I'll say, well, it's all the other people's second-hand smoke that gave me it. It wasn't the stories of smoking, it was the second-hand smoke from other people, you know what I mean? That's what gave them the cancer. We all have to have our little imaginings, our little false beliefs, our little, you know, protections against reality, I suppose, you know. Swans you gonna, motherfuckers. By the way, 18-year-old fucking Scotch, man, and it is, I've got to say, it's some of the best shit. It was, I think it's called Abalur. I'm trying to see it. I can have this shit. I can have this even with my glasses on. That's how fucked up I am. Anyway, this one's your bad, motherfucker. And now it's time for me to put my half a story out. Maybe just one more puff. And then you can go to bed. So, night all. Have a good sleep. And don't worry about life. There you go. It's not with possibilities. It's already written. You can't escape your destiny. I just hope mine's a good one. Or do I make my own destiny? Yeah, I often think that too. So here's to you and yours. Good night, folks. Night from Tess.